The St. Louis Blues are cup-bound, baby! Because you signed Monty? Because we signed Jim Montgomery, and history loves to repeat itself. Yeah, I've seen all the comparisons with the Cassidy Knights. I get it. Yeah? Are you bitter? Are you frustrated? No, I am unbothered by all of this, honestly. Well, that's no fun. And honestly, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It makes sense. Do you really think you're on the same level of that Vegas team? Of course. Who's your Eichel? Robert Thomas. Oh, okay. And your Mark Stone? Kyrou, I guess? Yeah. Can you roll 3 lines with high-end centers anchoring them? Do you have the deepest defensive core in the league? Do you have a ruthless front office that will trade anyone under any circumstances as long as they're getting a better player back, no matter how bad it makes you look? Well, no. So then what can you possibly do to replicate the same success that Cassidy and the Knights had in his first season? I could stab a bunch of my players in late February, put them all in injured reserve, use that cap space to bring in a bunch of talent, lie to the league about the readiness of my players, and then gaslight everyone into believing it's some sort of miracle that all of my injured players are ready for round 1? Oh, damn, you actually might win the cup. Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team, that is a dub. That's a big fat juicy dub. That's 2 in a row. I know it's against competition that blah 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 blah. We're going to talk exactly about that. I am sorry about the lateness of this video. Things happened yesterday. Let's talk about this Detroit Red Wings team, because last video we talked about how Utah was like a tutorial boss. Not really good at anything right now. Win the game. Win the game. Get off the mat. Win the game. And you did. You squeaked it out. Squeaked it out. 2 wins in a row. The Boston Bruins don't look like a fixed team. They played 2 bad teams in a row. The offense still stinks. Power play is still struggling. There's production there, don't get me wrong, but like this thing's still wrong. But they're building an identity. They're on the move. We got to focus on the positives. Utah's a tutorial boss. Bad at everything. The Red Wings are very clearly a level 1 boss, but a specific type of one, because the Red Wings are that early game boss that teaches you a core mechanic about the video game while allowing you to still be bad at other areas but still win and move on. This will make sense in a second. They rank dead last on the penalty kill, 32 out of 32. 27th in goals scored per game and 20th in goals allowed per game. But their power play was ranked 5th going into this game. I believe it's now 6th because they weren't able to score one on the power play. Spoiler alert. They're here to teach us how to kill penalty kill, allowing us to still be bad on the power play at 5-on-5 offensively, but still come out with a win, positive vibes. But we have to learn this one mechanic. Kill a penalty. I like this analogy. I'm going to use it as long as I can. You might have noticed something there. They rank 27th in goals scored per game, but they have a top 5 power play in the league. What? That's brutal. It's especially brutal because they actually rank 31st in goals scored at 5-on-5. Nashville ranks 32nd, and a team you know and love ranks 30th. That's right, the Boston Bruins, 30th in the league in 5-on-5 scoring. Why am I excited about that? I'm not. I'm actually very upset about it. They are also top 10, they being the Detroit Red Wings, are also top 10 in save percentage. We're going to go into this game with some adjustments here. Geeky, Zakapasta, still top line. Marchand, Lindholm, Brazeau, Frederick, Coyle, Johnson, Beecher, Costello, Kepke, Lohrei, Mack, Wotherspoon, Carlo, Zadorov, Peak, Swayman is going to get the start. Georgi Merkulov has been sent back down. And look, I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to act like he was making a massive difference. I liked his game, and I wanted to see him continue to grow it. Here's my problem. We talked about this last year, too, at times. Why, when you have 2 options, and one of them is an aging vet on a 1-year deal, and one of them is a young prospect Young, he's like 24 now, so not super young, but a guy that you're hoping can step into a role eventually here and become a consistent NHL player. If both of those guys are offering the same level of ability, let's go with ability. I don't think Johnson's better than Merkulov right now. I don't think Merkulov's much better than Johnson either. I think they both kind of complementary to that third line, going to try to get the pucks in the slot, get the pucks to the net. If Merkulov can do what Johnson's doing, wouldn't you rather have him up here so you could watch him steadily grow into the NHL player that he could be? It's just weird to me. I know people are like, well, responsibility, understanding the flow of the game, and yeah, but also they're basically playing a very similar role. I'd rather have the young guy who's going to take a couple hits and increase and be better than a guy who's tapped out. No real shade thrown at Johnson. It's always been a weird decision to me that we see frequently from NHL teams where they opt to go with the vet as like some sort of safer option when it doesn't feel safer, it doesn't feel better, and I'm like, I'd rather see the young guy play. As like a fan, I'd just rather that. I don't know. If you have strong feelings that Johnson's far better than Merkulov, fine. Like, I get that. But I just feel like they're both bringing a very similar level of play. I don't know. I'm not about to lose my mind over it. But let's talk about this game that was grown men putting their health on the line. Let's be very clear about this. They're real hockey players. Hockey's a dangerous sport. The entertainment factor for this year's Bruins team, if it wants to win games, kind of has to be this. It has to be. Not the most entertaining game in the world, right? Very good defensively, hoping for strong goaltending, get your counter punches in, win a game 1-0 or 2-1 or whatever you can muster there. That is what the Boston Bruins identity is, or what they're trying to build. The Red Wings strike me as a team, and John B. Pott, I'm sorry about this. John B. is a legend on this channel. He big Red Wings fan. He's also a huge Bruins fan, but he cheers for both teams. But I apologize, John B., if you feel like I'm wrong about this. It really doesn't feel like the Red Wings have an identity. And it's a similar argument you can make about the Bruins of what is your identity. Now, I think recently we've really tried to push into the strong defensive metrics, counterpunch. Like that's where we're at. I don't think the Red Wings have figured out their identity yet. Being so good on the power play, but so bad at everything else other than your in-net play, which has been really impressive. And it's kind of funny because over the past couple of years, a lot of times we've been like, man, if they could get consistent goaltending, that team just feels more dangerous. Well, now they have consistent goaltending, but the team's all over the place. Red Wings are a weird team. But let's talk about this game. Puck drops! Also, like, comment, subscribe, nailed it. I really appreciate all the compliments on the Savannah Ghost Pirates jersey. That was more of a chuckle-worthy thing to do as the team was floundering. And now I refuse to move it. I'm not going to change a damn thing until this team starts sucking at defense again. We also have some Swayman comments to talk about in the game notes, which I'm sure some of you are interested in because, well, that one might have gone a little viral. I don't know. 6:40 into the game. Kasper is going to go for tripping on an awful call. Pasta dove to make a play. Not like he dove to get the call, but dove to make a play, and they called Kasper for tripping, which is insane. We're going to go to the power play. 8 seconds left of an uninspiring power play. Puck is moved around the umbrella from the left wall to the center of the blue line to Johnson on the right circle. He's got Coyle and Brazeau sprinting to the net front. Johnson fires it into the slot. Brazeau gets the tip that was more of a lucky bounce, but we take those. 1-0 power play goal. I would love more legit power play goals. Ones that feel sustainable, reliable, things that we can do over and over again. But I will literally take them however they'll come. Like that's just where we're at right now. 1-0. A goal off of a call that kind of sucked. Red Wings fans frustrated. I get it. I bring that up for a reason. 8:56 in. Johnson clears the puck over the glass. We're going to the penalty kill. This is directly after that goal was scored, basically. It's like the next shift. So now we're going to the penalty kill against a very, very, very good Red Wings power play. And we just crush it. I mean, it's a really good penalty kill. Active sticks in the slot. The Red Wings are really pushing for these backdoor tap-ins, these into the slot scrummage plays, which are effective, particularly in like a playoff setting. But if your defensemen are paying attention and they're active and they're tying up sticks, it's hard to finish one of those in front of the net. There's not a ton that happens through the rest of the period. The shots are 6-4 in favor of the Red Wings. It's not a big, busy period for either goaltender. But late in the period, with 57 seconds left, the Red Wings are on a transition. And this is aided by a laboring Brazeau, who clearly uncomfortable, something with his side. Not sure if he just got the wind knocked out of him. Some stick caught him there. I'm not entirely sure what was causing him discomfort. But he's slow on the back check. This leads to kind of a 4-on-3-ish scenario. It's basically everyone gets back by the time this play comes to fruition, though. And Tarasenko ends up with the puck below the right circle. Lindholm sprinting to him, which I don't even think is a bad choice, pressuring this off the rip in a transition like that. But because Brazeau is unable to catch up to everybody else, Raymond is the one guy. Everyone else is on a body. Like, they are. This is a pretty decent structure. Raymond is left alone in the slot skating down. Pass gets to him. He rips this blocker side. It's 1-1. Final minute of the frame. It's a bummer. It's a great play by the Red Wings, taking advantage of an advantageous situation. I'm not really mad at anybody. I mean, sometimes a goal's just a goal. Like, that sometimes just happens. Second period starts, 1:35 in. Johnson, for his second penalty of the game, is going to go for tripping. We're going to go to the penalty kill. We kill it, but Sway did have to come up huge at the end with a pretty big save. 5 minutes in, Pastrnak gets a massive chance. Now, I'm not going to highlight every chance he had like this, but there were 3 throughout the game. But this one I am going to highlight specifically because it tells a story. He steals the puck from Petrie on the left wall. He gets to skate in towards the net alone. No one's around him. He has 2 to 3 seconds to do something. That's a long time. That's a long time. Many of you who have played sports know that there's a rule about 3 seconds or less, and you hear it in every single sport. In hockey, it should be less. In football, though, you talk about the quarterback's release time. In soccer, 3 seconds or less is a huge rule for moving the ball effectively. Basically, every sport has this kind of rule built into it. This is time with the puck, bottom of the left circle, skating directly in on Talbot. And he tries to deke him and get around him, but it's slow, and the defense gets there first and breaks it up. And it just felt like he hesitated. It just felt so much like this is a great chance. You cannot not get a shot. You were either unaware of where the defenders were and allowed them to interrupt you before you got the shot off, which is not good, or you hesitated, which is not good. Either one of those options, not good. It is one of 3 moments where Pastrnak was basically one-on-one with Talbot and hesitated, creating a lack of scoring chance from it. We're going to talk about that, but weird, right? I know you've got to be watching the same thing I am going, how do we not even get a chance there? 9:21 left. Raymond's going to go for hooking. We're going to go to power play. Nope. 4:45 left. Wotherspoon's going to go for interference. Penalty kill. Best chance of this Detroit power play. We get to reverse this. It's a 2-on-1 for us. Marchand across the slot to Zacha, who flubs the shot. Doesn't get a lot on it. Makes it much easier for Talbot to make the save, but it is a big save. And we're going to go to the third period. And with 8:30 left of a third period that has been mostly Bruins, right? The Bruins are rolling lines. Swayman is a little involved, but not often. And we just keep pushing. Something that, regardless of the level of the other team, we just haven't seen a ton this year. The Detroit Red Wings are upset about an icing call. It's the correct call. Andrew Peeke was reaching that puck first. Your argument there is we've often talked about the race to the dots, right? A lot of times it's called based on who gets to the center dots, the face-off dots in the defensive zone first, which the Red Wings player did. But with the way the puck was moving, Peeke was getting to that puck first. So they call icing. Red Wings are upset. I understand it was the right call. On the ensuing play, they have a chance. This is what drives me nuts. And I hate when Bruins fans do this. They have a chance to clear this from their zone. And Tarasenko just pushes a soft pass. Maybe he just healed it, I'm not sure. Up to the blue line where Pastrnak gets to keep it in. Because, I mean, this was the softest of softest clears. So the puck will keep moving. He gets to dish it over to Peak on the right circle. Peak has to catch up to it, but he'll collect. He sees Marchand circling the net and coming up towards him at the bottom of that right circle. He'll pass to him. Marchand spins and rips this short side for your game winner, 2-1. What bothers me when Bruins fans do this, is they'll go, that icing call fucked us. Yes, it's still the right call, but even if it wasn't the right call, Tarasenko fucked you. Like, he gave the puck back in the defensive zone. That's what screwed you over, not the ref. The reason I bring this up, and the reason I brought that up earlier, though, is both of these goals were technically controversial for Detroit Red Wings fans, and it was an infuriating game to watch because it was a slog through the middle of the zone a lot. There were not a ton of scoring chances. I'd be frustrated, too, if I was watching my team do that and then lose, which we were watching a lot earlier in the season. So, controversial, tough for them because both goals kind of have an argument against them. The first one genuinely does. That never should have been a power play for us, but I mean, that all evens out eventually, they tell me. 1:22 left of the period. That's right, we're skipping all the way to the end. The Bruins have outshot them by double. I think at this point, it's like 12-4. And then Marchand's going to go for hooking. We're going to go to the penalty kill. We're going to end up killing that. It's a 2-1 win. Now, there's not a lot of interesting things about this game. We rattled through that relatively easily. But the game notes I find really interesting. Because the third period, as I've already mentioned, they were outshot 13-5. Not us. The Detroit Red Wings were outshot 13-5. The Bruins took a tie game into the third and busted ass to get that win. And scored a 5-on-5 goal in the third period to win it. The Bruins have not been scoring in the third period, and they certainly haven't been scoring 5-on-5 in the third period this season. It's a great development. It's a step in the right direction, and having high energy through the third period and details were extremely important. Details. Swayman made some comments after the game, and one in particular seems to have ruffled some feathers, but I don't think it's fair. He said, "Really awesome to see the guys in front of me paying attention to details at both ends of the ice and getting rewarded for it." This wasn't said with any particular tone, I don't feel like. You could go watch the video and tell me if you disagree. In a situation where you look at the season as a whole, and you look at Swayman's numbers, and he has the audacity to comment on the details of the players in front of him, how dare you? Well, because the details have sucked. Swayman doesn't deserve to be treated like an elite goaltender right now. He has not played up to that standard. I will agree with that all day. But a lot of his goals against have come from things where you sit there and go, did Swayman really have a chance on that one? We talked about it all the way leading up until this most recent, like Jim's firing, of just the defense being lackadaisical, not paying attention, not getting the job done, not clearing pucks, not clearing sticks, not clearing bodies. We can't talk about that much, and then when a goaltender comments on, I really liked their attention to detail, be like, that asshole. Look, Swayman has plenty to keep him busy with his own game, right? Commenting on other players' performances, I understand why everyone sits there and go, this guy's a cancer. I get where that gut reaction, like the immediate reaction comes from. But, the details in this game were tremendous defensively. Because Detroit, over and over again, was shoveling the puck into the crease front, into the slot. And over again, Zadorov and Carlo and McAvoy and Lohrei and Peak and Wotherspoon were flicking sticks up and clearing pucks out. Over and over again, preventing these backdoor tap-ins, which Detroit was desperately going for the entire game. Swayman was watching that happen in front of him. And every time that puck went past him, and Swayman's movement was not clean in this game. I am actually a little concerned here because it does feel like he has a lot of extra movement lately, particularly his side to side. It's a whole different conversation. But when that puck gets moved to the side and he hasn't caught up to it or he oversteps it, somebody clearing that puck out, hey, great work, stick tap. After the game, for him to say, it's awesome to see them paying attention to details at both ends of the ice and getting rewarded for it, he knows how hard the offense has been working to try to get their game going. He also knows that if it weren't for the defensive details that they showed in this game, we would have lost by 3. They were going for the high danger plays. They were pushing the puck into the crease, and Swayman's movement wasn't as clean as he wants it to be. I'm betting he'd admit that. And so he watched his team bail him out over and over, or really just do their job, right? You shouldn't be allowing those in, ever. You should not be allowing those goals. That should be a prime moment for the defense to step in and do their job. Swayman comments saying, that was really great to see. I wish he would have added, they really helped me out. I wish he would have added that. It's not that big of a deal. I think goalies are weird. He was complimenting the team. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm trying to defend the guy for every single thing. But the toxic stuff, the one reporter now who's reporting that like the team doesn't like Swayman. And every beat reporter, every other beat reporter is walking into those rooms talking to these players and every single one's going, hey, that's a joke. That's like, there's nobody who's upset at this guy at all. And yet people are running with this whole like Swayman's toxic. I mean, if that's true, I'm going to wait until there's some reason to believe it. But right now, the team seems very much like, no, we're here for Swayman. He's here for us. It's fine. And then a comment like this that in a different scenario, if you were on a 6-game win streak, everyone would be like, nice. Yeah, the details were great this game. I just think we need to be fair. We need to look. We can't just look at the whole season and be like, oh, we're going to compare that to his stats. And then, no, I think this was a really great game for the defense in front of Swayman. Really great. One of Zadorov's best. And that's 2 games in a row where I've complimented Zadorov at the end of the video. That's saying something. That's saying something. And Wotherspoon. God, someone pointed out in the last video and complimented Wotherspoon. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, but you're right. Stepping in as the 6th defenseman right now, usually our 7th D, and he's just been really good. Not even really good, just really consistent. Like, I'm happy with Wotherspoon, you know? A guy that I see on the ice and I don't immediately go, oh, here we go. Like, that was forward for me last year. He's on the ice, the puck's getting turned over. It's being given back to the team. He's misreading a defensive play. What Zadorov has been for most of the season for me. Wotherspoon has just consistently been like, nah, I hit people and throw the puck away. That's fine. I don't need you to do anything else. I don't. I love those defensemen. I really do. If you're playing 16 minutes a night, but you're hitting bodies, nobody gets a chance in front of your goalie, and you're clearing pucks out consistently, don't care. We have 0 points in 9 games. I don't care. Because his job is making sure that the other team has 0 points. That's what I care about with him. McAvoy's job, very different. Lorai's job, very different. Hampus Lindholm's job, very different. Carlo, Wotherspoon, Peak, still trying to figure out Zadorov here exactly. But those other 3, their job is, I don't want my name mentioned. That puck is gone. That body is away from Swayman. Period. Simple hockey. Sometimes not super fun, but as long as it's effective, we have a good time with the Dubs. The other thing that I want to talk about, because we already talked about Pasta. I'm rambling these videos. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just talking to you guys. Lorai's development. The past couple of games, he has been far more consistent. And you can see the confidence growing of what he wants to do. And it hasn't been perfect. It hasn't been perfect. But if he can truly sit next to McAvoy and play damn good hockey, it changes the entire landscape of this team. Because that left side has been brutal to start the year. And McAvoy's numbers have not been good, partially because of his own fault, and probably there's a little element of, my partner keeps eating ass. That's not what I meant. I'm not going to edit that out. It's fine. But they keep sucking, and I keep having to overcompensate for it. Eating ass. It's fine. If Lorai can lock in and be that top pairing guy with him, great. And the more he improves, the more I think Lorai did not come into the season conditioned properly. Because a lot of the mistakes he made previously, it kind of makes sense. And this is hindsight. I never said it earlier, so like you can't sit there and be like, oh, Ian's, look at you, man. You're figuring this stuff out. It's like, nah, this is an assumption based on looking back and having the hindsight. But a lot of his mistakes were from what seemed to be winded shifts. Icings and overcompensating in moments and just stuff where you go like, that's an oxygen-less decision. I think everybody on this team's conditioning is improving, which you would hope so. But Lorai might have been one of those that needs to like, dude, you better come into camp ready next year. Either way, I'm pretty happy with this. Again, the offense isn't fixed. The power play scored a goal, but the power play is not fixed. The penalty kill looks way better, and the defensive details look way better. If we can start there and build that way out, because we built the team from the net out, might as well play that way. We can feel better. We still have a long way to go here, and a bunch of bad teams in front of us. Keep racking up some points. Figure out where we're at. One of these days we have to beat a good team, but I'll wait till we play one. Go Bees. Go Bees! Of course, we have to give a huge thank you to everyone who's supporting this channel, especially the high-quality inspectors, our top-line tier members, Nibbler4377, EKM Productions, Chris and Erica, Jeff with a G, Tommy Braga, The Bugman, Roland22, GD Viperworks, Len Kreutz, Moonlighter TV, Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Aaron Adams, Lola Cattingsworth, Brett Arney, Pincent, Adam Ella, Big Bad Bruin, and Nick Citrullo. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. You're all studs and studettes. And of course, a huge thank you to the Stallions, our all-star tier members, Levi Catalani, Bagel, Joel, Doots42, Heil E. Coyote, Darren Woodbury, Abraxion, John Kirk, Michael DePaulo, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adrian Winter, Tupton Ditashi, Nightmare Eco, Bruin Smash, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Boston Stringler, Dash Riprock, Crystal Rennell, Jacob Pratt, and Jeremy. You are all absolute legends. I appreciate you eternally. And as usual, go Bees!